So, for the past 3 years, I've been a pretty big Gypsy supporter and a pretty staunch Nick non supporter, and I've never really hidden that. And it was to my own detriment sometimes. The attacks my team and I have been subjected to for our thoughts and protectiveness of this family has been a lot. But more and more things kept popping up that just didn't quite make sense. But really, nothing made sense in all of this, so we sort of just chalked it up to that and went on. I spoke with Gypsy often and Christy daily for over 2 years. But things with Gypsy just never really added up. But we tried to be sympathetic to what she had been through. But when this new guy came in the picture as Gypsy's beau, oh, we began to see a shift in Gypsy's attitude towards us. And then the other shows were all mounting up, and it was causing more stress and tensions. And stuff began to grow between Gypsy and our team. And it wasn't pretty. We tried to make excuses for her. We tried to just be understanding. But there were just these emails and craziness. And we're going to read some of those emails back and forth between some of our team and myself included, and Gypsy and in our later episodes. But again, we kept going because we decided long ago this story was more than just the Gypsy Rose Blanchard story. It was the story of all the kids suffering at the hands of abusive parents, and the story needed to be told in its entirety. I'm not going to get into all the drama that surrounded all of this, and trust me, there is a shit ton. But it's really irrelevant, except that it took a toll on our team and family. And with everything happening, opinions began to shift. We began thinking there may be way more to the story than we ever thought. Maybe Gypsy wasn't really as truthful as we thought, and maybe Nick wasn't as bad as we thought. And maybe she was more damaged than anyone could have imagined. But through it all, we tried to be supportive of Gypsy and make excuses until the day we all just really couldn't anymore. I had been asking for the interrogation video of Gypsy for years. We'd seen Nick's, but never hers, except the clips the HBO documentary played. And, well, there's a whole nother story there, but that's for another day. Anyway, after 2 years of asking for it, I finally got it. And I shook as I stuck it in the disk drive on my laptop, and then I sat glued in shock and tears for 4 hours. I called Christy and we talked, and I told her, you need to be prepared to watch this because it's not what you're expecting. Because she'd never seen it in its entirety either. And then I called my team one by one with the same messages, and then waited for the calls back. Oh boy, those calls back were fucking emotional. Christy called me in tears. Titania called me hysterical. We couldn't believe what we had seen, and once we'd seen it coupled with all the other things we had learned and uncovered in the past 2+ years, we couldn't unsee that. And our minds were changed, and our hearts were broken. We had all hoped that at some point Gypsy would have told the deputy the truth about her mom and why it all happened. And instead, we just watched Gypsy sit for 4 hours comfortably on a couch talking with deputies about Disneyland and Harry Potter, and eat and calmly wait. We watched her tell the detectives lie after lie after lie without blinking. And we watched as she was finally caught in all the lies, and she then began to play the "but I'm sick" card and the "I need a lawyer" card. She, in 4 hours, never once mentioned being ill, or her mom abusing her, or forcing her to play ill, or talked about the countless surgeries, or even asked for a lawyer. Nothing. She lied until she could no longer lie that she didn't know, and then in a blink of an eye, she turned and calmly threw Nick so far under the bus it wasn't funny. And that was a hard pill for us to swallow, and it began to change our thoughts. It poisoned our relationship with family. And it broke every one of my team of 25 people's hearts. And I know it broke Christy's too. That moment was the moment we realized Gypsy wasn't the sweet, innocent victim we'd all made excuses for. I mean, she was a victim, but she was also a cold-blooded murderer, and she played a game all of her own. I tell you all this so you understand you may hear some conflicting opinions in these next few episodes. We may battle going back and forth between being pro Gypsy and not for Nick, and pro Nick and not for Gypsy, and pro nobody sometimes. Because I'll be honest, we grapple with this every single day, and it's trying to come to terms with the realizations that we did not think we were going to have to come to.